Hey, it's me. You have tuned into Life of Piper YouTube channel. Thank you so much for listening, and this is a lot of life updates. I am really excited to show up more as myself in all areas of my life, and I have to say a big part of that is because the people in my life are really supportive and loving people that make me feel like they accept me for who I am. So I feel like I'm stepping more into that and being more confident. And the more I show the real sides of me, the more people in my life kind of affirm that. And it makes me more excited to sort of like release that energy. And it makes me realize how uptight I might have been on the internet as a result of being like a 19-year-old, being very, very perceived and the weight of that experience. So now, this bitch is 26, slightly more grown, slightly more wise, and YouTube has always been a really beautiful way for me to process my life and look back on this. So I have been vlogging a lot of how our corner shop has been evolving. I'm just like making it up as I go. And that's kind of the way maybe it will always be, because I am in uncharted territory, okay, my friends? And I've been realizing that's okay, and maybe that's the fun part, and that's sort of going to be the theme of this channel from here on out. I keep thinking once I get the hang of things, once I get more structure in my life, I'm going to be better at YouTube videos and make it more, I guess you can say, like a template, have like a formula. But the nature of my work is just so not like that, and I don't actually want it to be like that. I remember when I fell more into a formula of doing YouTube, I wasn't very fulfilled. So I'm thinking like, hey, this is actually what you've wanted. I just like don't know how to properly storytell at the moment, when the reality is that my life is like a messy cabinet drawer that you hide from people. You do not want to share this with people. It is not presentable. It's not like a cute little cupboard in glass and shiny. There's dust. There are cables for technology that is now outdated. There are crumbs and coins and random things everywhere. And that's just the reality. And now this is me pulling open that drawer, the figurative exposure, and sharing a little piece of my reality with you, because there are so many precious moments that I really don't want to leave behind. And if I don't edit footage, it's just never going to see the light of day. So this is Lucky Charm, everybody. We've started setting up. About half of the vendors have arrived, and the weather is so pleasant. I'm so happy to be done with that vinyl sign. Such a relief. I would say this is the most successful pop-up host event that we've done, and that was so wonderful. It was really cold February and March. For those who maybe don't live in New York or don't remember, it was like strangely cold. And the last one that we hosted during Valentine's, like that week, it actually blizzarded in the middle of the event, and I was bummed out because I didn't want to disappoint the vendors. So I kind of just had to like sit with that feeling, because there's nothing anyone can do. However, for March, imagine, it was still rainy, muggy every day, cold, not the best, but boom, on this one Saturday, it was like 80 degrees. And it was like the first time we saw something this warm all winter, all spring. We tried out this fun little wheel that was like incentive. If you support the people who are tabling that day, that will give you a free spin to be guaranteed to win something. Learning more about marketing as I go along, but I'm still very inexperienced in it. But it was just like good people. It was magical how the community shows up. Now, moving on into April, I kind of disappeared for a bit because I was part of this exciting project that I will talk about soon because it's going to be announced. But it did pull me out of my routine, kind of in a good way, because it made me more rigorous in how I will balance my shop work with other art career ventures, because I was like still trying to work on my shop stuff and like design posters for friends in my hotel room at night while I was on site and working for a different job. But also it made me like completely change my perspective on like, okay, how do I want to approach my self-entrepreneur, my self-employment career? Switching gears a little bit to my next note, and that is how in many ways I already have almost everything that I used to dream about. Now, The work is to be present for it, to let myself enjoy it and give myself permission. It brings me back to this beautiful quote. I believe it might be Buddha, and they said that there is no way to happiness, for happiness is the way. And it illuminates the feeling of recognizing that it's your perspective and your sense of owning the right to enjoy your life, because you're here for just a fleeting, glittering second in the grand scheme of the universe. And to kind of like take a step back to realize that you're just a part of nature. Like, we are mortal, we're to pursue our purpose, hopefully serve our community and love those around us and express our beings before our time on earth is over. That just makes me feel like a lot more calm and a lot more excited to look at the space that I've built for myself and not see the lack of like, you're not doing this well enough, it's not perfect to my vision, this and that. It's more like trusting myself that I can give myself permission to be happy and proud and fulfilled, and know that this sense of fulfillment is only going to fuel more of that and not going to make myself feel like, oh, my work is done, I don't have to work anymore, and I will have no more motivation. When something amazing happens, whether it's like an event that was successful or getting a big opportunity, I tend to keep my happiness small or like tucked away. Even if I am experiencing it, I make it very private. And like when I talk to my family members or my roommates or my best friends, I'm like definitely like downplaying it. I find it super relatable when I watch documentaries or like I watch competitions and I see these athletes who put their whole lives and every second into working for this amazing goal. Let's say they make it to the podium, they get first place, but some of them like they're barely smiling. You know that they're so happy, but like they're keeping it in, they're really stoic. And I'm like, wow, am I kind of doing that? I want to learn how to speak about my joy and be proud of my light and understand how to hold that, because ultimately, maybe growing up in my lived experience has convinced me that it's selfish to do that. But I'm slowly coming into the realization that it's actually wonderful to share your joy and your light, because I see other people holding that light and it creates a ripple effect. It's so inspiring and it is magnetizing to come together and affirm each other and realizing that we must keep our lights bright for ourselves and each other, because we cannot pour from empty cups. So I'm learning how to fill my own cup and not tell myself that everyone else's happiness matters more than mine, because I never say that to myself consciously, but I think my actions kind of show that. That was kind of what has been boiling on my mind, or simmering, not boiling. But in May, I started to feel a little bit different. And one of the examples was like I got to go to Italy and I took a vacation with my boyfriend. And it was the first time in a while that I felt like when I was traveling, I wasn't struggling as much with anxiety, like the anxiety of not working, of not being productive. And that shift makes me know that I'm taking steps in the right direction, because it's like somewhere deep down, I am leaning into the world. So letting myself be present at work, but also looking forward to exploring and stepping away from work without like the survival mode of like questioning, is this the right choice, or is there a cost or a trade-off? Like every day you're not in the office, this is how much it costs per rent. This is how much it costs for someone to look after the shop when you could be looking after the shop. And this is a very real struggle of people who are self-employed, because it always feels like that you can save costs by training your time. And I am learning about how time is truly the most valuable currency. I'm just learning that we can show up for ourselves and serve our community. It starts with the people closest to you. So I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who shows up. Help me put up the sign for our store. Goes without saying, like I cannot do it without y'all, because even my boyfriend almost fell off the ladder. It was so windy and like really actually difficult to put up the sign, which is why I have had it sitting on my shelf for 7 months before I did anything with it, because I was so scared to stick it on crooked that I would rather not stick it on at all. And it almost went on crooked, but we did our best, and now it looks so much better that from afar you can actually read Piper Blue Collective from like 100 feet away, and it was amazing. So yeah, my takeaway to everybody is I had a really bad day last week, and it really allowed me to realize that when you're spiraling, it feels like that all your progress has gone. Because last week I was just like, it felt like I was so close to where I started. Like I was like at square one or square zero, and I like felt like I didn't believe in myself at all. I didn't really see the value in what I did at all, and it was scary. It kind of took like 4 or 5, the closest people in my life, like all of the women in my life, really lifted me up to bring me back up in terms of energy. So if I could do that for you today, that would mean the world to me. So thank you for listening. Thank you for the kind comments, the encouraging notes. Thank you to the people who support the shop and take the time to write a couple sentences. Even if it feels like you're writing into the void, oftentimes I do see the notes that you leave at checkout, and it makes me cry, okay? Like, I'm like just baffled that there's so many people that have followed my journey since college to now, and it reminds me that art matters and that creativity heals. Thank you for supporting me, for being here today, for your attention, and I'll talk to you soon. The Italy vlog is coming. Speaking of traveling, I'm working with Trova Trip this month, and before launching any real solid travel plans, I want to do a survey. So if you're still listening and you're interested, please explore the link that I have in the comments and the description as well. If you've ever thought of traveling and potentially doing a group trip with me and other like-minded artists or beginner artists, let me know if you would potentially want to do a trip next year, what that might look like, where you want to go. Again, like, this is just the seed of idea right now, and I wanted to get your feedback first. So that is my other last announcement, and talk to you soon. Please be gentle with yourself, and I love you very much. Bye-bye.